What's up, everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 19 of Director Spotlight. This is, of course, the show where we go through the entire filmography of a director. We are doing Steven Spielberg. Again, we're up to his 19th movie. Crazy, guys, that we're already at 19. We're more than halfway done. Yeah. 19 movies in. This is a movie called it's actually called AI, Artificial Intelligence. It's from 2001. I'm your host, Nate. I am joined by my co-host, Alex.
Hello.
And Evan.
Hello.
All right. And you guys already know I'm going to ask some questions here. AI, Artificial Intelligence. Now, Alex, have you ever seen this movie?
I never seen it. I never heard of it either. So, To be honest, not many people talks about this movie. So,
True.
That's how I don't know it. No one talks about it or nothing like that. So.
Fair. Okay, so never heard, never seen. Evan, seen it more. I think it's less than Close Encounters, but I'll still ask, more or less than Close Encounters?
Less. I saw it once in the theater and a couple times on DVD. I never upgraded it at all. I did buy it digitally, and that was also another mistake too, because it didn't come in 5.1, the digital version.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
I watched this on Blu-ray. I bought the Blu-ray. Looks good. It looks just like Minority Report, by the way, as far as like the way it's shot.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what? When I was watching this movie, I feel like there was a lot of parts I've never seen. So I felt like there was a lot of parts I have seen. So I didn't remember it fully. I'm going to say I've seen it once before watching it for this, but most of it felt like a first time watch. I was like, I don't even remember this scene, and I don't remember this scene. And then we get to another one. Like, I do remember this scene. So, or maybe I've seen it in bits and pieces. I don't know. Either way, this felt like a first time watch for me. So I'm very interested to talk about it with you guys. Before we do, you already know, we're going to get into some numbers, some fun facts. And I did watch, I get my fun facts like normal. I did watch some of the behind the scenes stuff on the Blu-ray, it was pretty interesting actually. Anyway, this movie came out in 2001, so 4 years after Amistad. So he took a little break, 4-year gap between films. This had a budget between $90 and $100 million. And before we get into the review, I got to say, the money was on the screen. Like, this still looks really good as far as the visual effects for a 25-year-old movie. Pretty impressive. This did have a box office total of $235.9 million. So made money, but it was not like a massive hit compared to some of his other films. This has a 76% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and a 64% audience score. So it is fresh on both, but he's had higher movies as well. So pretty good. So far, everything's pretty good.
And for Spielberg, doesn't the audience score usually higher than the critic score? Is that not been the trend?
A lot of times, it depends on the movie. For ones like this, it seems like it is like this, right? The ones that people don't talk about much is the ones that usually the audience is lower. Most of the other ones is like the audience is higher than the critics. As far as Academy Awards, this did get 2 nominations. So it got nominated for Best Visual Effects, did not win. Got nominated for Best Score from John Williams, did not win. So no wins. All right, fun facts. Now, this is a very famous movie for this. These first 2 fun facts that I have. Stanley Kubrick actually began development on an adaptation of a story called Super Toys Last All Summer Long in the late 1970s, hiring the story's author Brian Aldiss to write a film treatment. In 1985, Kubrick asked Steven Spielberg to direct the film, with Kubrick producing it. Warner Brothers agreed to co-finance AI and to cover distribution duties. The film labored in development hell, and Aldiss was fired by Kubrick over creative differences in 1989. Bob Shaw briefly served as a writer, leaving after 6 weeks due to Kubrick's demanding work schedule, and Ian Watson was hired as the new writer in March 1990. Aldiss later remarked, "Not only did the bastard fire me, he hired my enemy instead." So apparently these two writers, not friends, did not like each other. And it's funny, 2 different writers out due to creative differences. Kubrick is pretty known for being a very demanding filmmaker, a very meticulous filmmaker. Also was friends with Steven Spielberg. And it's not something that's talked about, like, you know how George Lucas and Spielberg, everyone knows they're like best buddies. He was also good friends with Stanley Kubrick, but that's not a collaboration that really ever happened while Kubrick was alive. This was the closest it came where between the two. Now, after Kubrick's death in March of 1999, Harlan and Christiane Kubrick, and that was his wife, Christiane Kubrick. And Harlan, that's the last name in another note. It was one of like a producer or a writer or something like that. Approached Spielberg to take over the director's position because originally Kubrick wanted Spielberg to direct it and he was going to produce it. Spielberg told him, you know what? I think you will tell this story better. I will produce it and you direct it. And then he died, and then they came back to him about directing it. So by November 1999, Spielberg was writing the screenplay based on Watson's 90-page story treatment. It was his first solo screenplay credit since Close Encounters of the Third Kind in 1977. Pre-production was briefly halted during February 2000 because Spielberg pondered directing other projects, this one, I didn't even know this, which were Minority Report, which ended up being his next movie, Memoirs of a Geisha, which I think Rob Marshall ended up directing, and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which Chris Columbus ended up directing. So he almost directed the first Harry Potter movie. It would have been Spielberg.
That would have been interesting.
It was already good. It would have been probably better. I'm not gonna lie. But it was great still. Anyway, so he pondered them, ended up not directing those first. The following month, Spielberg announced that AI would be his next project with Minority Report as the follow-up. When he decided to fast-track AI, Spielberg brought back Chris Baker as a concept artist. Ian Watson reported that the final script was very faithful to Kubrick's vision. Even the ending, which is often attributed to Spielberg, saying, the final 20 minutes are pretty close to what I wrote for Stanley and what Stanley wanted faithfully filmed by Spielberg without the added schmaltz. So a lot of people think that ending was Spielberg's idea. Apparently, it was not. This is how the movie was originally going to end. So he stuck to it. Spielberg copied Kubrick's obsessively secretive approach to filmmaking by refusing to give complete script to the cast and crew, banning press from the set, and making actors sign confidentiality agreements. For instance, Jack Angel, who voiced Teddy, the little teddy bear that walks around, recorded his lines entirely out of context, only receiving direction to sound like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, except very wise and old and stoic. However, after he recorded his lines, Spielberg asked him to be on the set every day to make any line alterations wherever he felt necessary. So, an interesting approach. He's like, you know what? You're just going to read these lines in this way, and you're going to know nothing else. You're not going to see the movie, because a lot of times they'll have it playing, either some like pre-viz version of it or like a fully done version. Not in this case. He just had to record them without even knowing. And then they were like, we could do touch-ups later. So anyway, all those fun facts come because this was always known as a movie that Kubrick was going to make. Kubrick apparently never called the movie artificial intelligence. He referred to it as Pinocchio. And when you watch this film, there's a lot of parallels between this and Pinocchio. It plays a part in the story. So a lot of interesting fun facts on this movie. When it comes down to it, I know Stan Winston was involved in the robot designs. Apparently, Joseph Mazzello from Jurassic Park originally was like going to be the boy, was going to be David. But the longer it took, he got kind of too old. Then they saw Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense, and Spielberg said, "That's the guy. That's the kid we need for this role." Also, last one. Originally, David was going to be they were going to make an animatronic. It was not going to be a human actor playing the role. But they realized this is too hard. It's going to be too expensive and too difficult to have a robot for a whole movie. Even if they mix CGI. So they decided to go with an actor, which I think was the right choice ultimately.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Yes. Anyway, so that's the fun facts. I do want to get into our actual reviews. Alex, I'm going to let you go first since you've never seen it or heard of it.
Yeah.
What did you think about this movie?
It was meh. Okay, look.
Done.
Yeah, done. When it comes to our AI, I honestly, it does feel like a Pinocchio. I mean, it really did. But at the end of the day, it was boring at times. I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, this is not. I don't get why would they read like a / remake of like a story that's already told, but do it in an AI form. I get it. The kid was good as the robot. But other than that, I didn't. I could see why like the boy wanted to be a human, and he's like he's toying between the two. So I was like, okay, cool. But it's a story that like for me, I was like, I didn't care for. And then for Steven Spielberg, right? Like he did so far like all these other movies, right? Coming from Saving Private Ryan, you're going, oh, he's gonna do another big epic film. I don't think this is an epic movie. Now it was shot great. Everything was great. The story to me is lackluster. Like it reminded me of Jurassic Park: Lost World. Like I didn't care for the robot. I didn't care. I felt a little bit sad for the family that got they had their son that died, and then they got the robot. Then they brought in I guess they adopted another kid or something.
No, that was their son. He was sick.
So they brought
him
so
in a coma and like came
they kind of froze him until they could find a cure.
Okay, so they brought his ass back. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then the son got jealous, and then he started to treat him like a real boy, and stuff started to happen, which it wasn't even his fault. But to the parents, because you don't see it, they didn't see everything in what happened with the pool, where the real kids were like stabbing him, and he drowned the kid, almost killed him. So I totally understand. And the mom was like, we can't have you dismantled. And then it becomes the Pinocchio story from there. Like it literally felt like the Pinocchio story from there on, because then he goes into he gets captured and goes right into the motorcycle thing, which is like the AK circus. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, this is so Pinocchio. Like, and I don't like that in movies. I don't mind you take parallels, like you could take certain elements, but if you're gonna go beat for beat from the cartoon, I feel like I'm like, oh. And it's weird because like even when he found, I don't know if he did or whatever, he goes to Manhattan and he finds the scientist that created him, right? Which is like, was it Jasper or Geppetto or whoever the hell it was that created Pinocchio?
Geppetto in the story.
Right, Geppetto. So it felt like, it felt just like that. Like he got back and then he throws himself. I'm gonna be honest, the last 20 minutes of the film was stupid. I thought it was dumb. I did not like it at all. He gets frozen staying in front of the stupid statue. You go, I want to be a boy. I want to be a boy. And then these aliens come out. And I was just like,
okay,
what?
So they're not aliens. They are the continuation of the AI over time. They're robots.
Oh,
no, they're
okay.
robots. So they
look like
what
aliens.
Eventually happened. They do. Yeah, they look like aliens.
It's not like it's
Have
the
you
thing is
that's
what
wires that are going and there's like
right.
It looks like electronics and yeah.
But the thing is like if that's the case, sure. Like, I mean, I'm gonna believe you because you're more into this than I do. But what I'm saying is like from any other person, it looks like it looks like aliens.
Like aliens. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't. I'm like, I was like, so aliens took over the world. I was like, okay, cool. But I don't know. Certain things I did like, with the it got frozen and they have frozen underworld within New York City, and I was like, that's actually like if the movie was in that form, I would be like, this is pretty cool. For me, I don't know. I just felt like it was very beat for beat from the Disney. And it's not that I took it away. I thought this was a very well done movie. I thought it was pretty good, but I could see why people don't talk about this movie much. Like, why is it an afterthought? Now, it is what it is. When it comes to it, I'm not going to give my rating yet because I know we do our ratings at the end. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it's better. I think it's in the same vein for me as always. Like for me, it's in the same vein. But it reminded me of a little bit of Amistad, where Amistad was like really great. And I mean, that's a strong story. But personally, for me, I feel like that's in the same vein of like, I don't think I will watch this movie again. Like I've seen it once, but it's not worse than 1941 or the other ones. I just think for me, it's like in the same vein as Amistad, but I can see why a lot of people don't talk about it. That kid was really good though, as the robot. Like he's really good. Not many kids could pull off robots, like being an artist. And I think he did a really great job on it. I like this Jude Law. I think that's him, right? Jude Law. Yep. He was good as the robot, as the
Gigolo Joe.
The Gigolo Joe.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, and it was funny because I wanted to see more of Gigolo Joe doing his stuff. Because I was just like, he was pretty.
Oh, we found. We found Alex's king.
No. But what I mean is like I always liked that cyberpunk world. And I think he was very interesting. Like if they gave me a little bit more time with the kid David in that world, like he'd be like, wait right here. And like he's trying to smuggle him out and he has to go get more credits by, doing gigolo stuff. I think it would have been pretty cool. But I did like the world that he built with the cyberpunk. Like I always liked that. That's why I enjoyed Blade Runner 2049 because I like
I think
that whole
visually this movie looks cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care about the real world until he went into the mouth of in the tunnel and then they ended up in that Vegas thing. And I was like, I kind of like the movie from this point of view. Cause like they had this, like I felt like I was going into a journey now. I'm with David now. I was like, you got me here. In the beginning, it felt like a drama, but now I'm following him into this chaotic world. Again, I thought it worked out very well. I liked him. Now, I was stunned because when they went into my boy Dr. No, and I went, wait a minute, that's Robin Williams doing the voice of the robot. And I was like, that's really dope. Yeah. He has such a unique, and then it brought me sad because it's like, the whole stuff what happened with Robert Williams, but you do miss
accent,
him.
It's him.
Yes, you already knew. I was like, wait, Robert Williams is in this
and Chris
movie?
Rock as that robot.
Yeah.
They kind of look like him too.
Yeah. I mean, and then you had he had great actors, supporting actors around. Like even Gleason, right? That Gleason guy
Brendan Gleason, William Hurt is in it.
William Hurt, yeah.
This is probably one of his more low-key casts, but there's some really good actors in there as well.
No, I agree. Yeah. But I thought it was meh at the end of the day. Not okay.
That's fair. Okay, I'm going to go second. That's a fair assessment. I don't know how I feel about this movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't. Like, I watched it, and when it was over, I went right into the special features, and I'm like, let me see if they're going to tell me something I'm missing. Here's what I'm going to say. Let's start with the positives first, and then I'll go to my confusion. One, I think the movie looks great. I love the cinematography of this. Again, and you're going to see, because our next movie is Minority Report. This looks exactly like Minority Report as far as the filming. It's kind of grainy. It looks digital, but grainy. And Minority Report looks exactly like this. Some blown out colors at times. It's unique. I like it. I like the way this movie looks. I love the score. I think John Williams' score, it was nominated for an Academy Award. Deserved. I do think the music is great. Really, really good. I think Haley Joel Osment is great. Kid actors, if you know me, they're hit or miss a lot of times. Mostly miss. But I thought he was very good. I think he conveyed not only being a robot, but then once she does the words and then he's like, the imprint thing, how he almost turns a little more human because he loves the mom and all this kind of stuff. I thought it was very well done. I agree with you, Alex. I think the acting is good. Like, even from I only know that lady from Bedazzled. That's the only thing I know her from, and this.
Yeah.
But she was good as the mom. I liked her. I think William Hurt is always good in everything. I'm trying to think what else did I like. I mean, I get they were going for a fairy tale, and that's what they keep saying throughout even the special features. Yes, there's a lot of Pinocchio parallels, but just in general, he kept saying that this was described to him as a fairy tale, basically. And it feels that way when you watch it. You know what? I actually quite like the ending or the last part, the part where the advanced robot things show up. Yeah. I kind of liked that. That resonated with me more than a lot of the other stuff in the first 2/3. But here's what's weird about this movie. I think it was too far ahead of its time. I don't think it said anything about AI because AI wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And I don't think the movie was trying to say anything like specifically about humans and their relationship to AI, other than this was sort of way ahead where at most they thought, I guess, we would make robots that are kind of like people and how humans would interact with those robots. But I kept waiting to see if there was some kind of, especially coming from Kubrick, who is kind of I would have thought there would be some more of a stance, but I don't know. Maybe it's Spielberg's writing. Again, I didn't really even love Close Encounters of the Third Kind. If you guys remember, go back and watch that one. Not one of my favorites. I don't think he's a great writer. And maybe that has something to do with it. He did say that he always writes, Spielberg, this was in the special features. He said he always writes, but collaboratively. Not usually just like a writer where they write a script and they're more like this writer has this, or I have an idea. He'll come up with ideas and then a writer will write it, whatever. But this was a screenplay credit that he got, and I just don't know if he's the best writer, to be honest. I think he's one of the best directors. I don't think he's the best writer. And it left me kind of, I think what they were going for was some sort of emotional connection in a lot of places, and I didn't really feel it. Again, I did in the last 20 minutes. I thought that was good. when the robot comes in and is talking with him, he's like, if we bring her back, she's gonna die. And that was Anthony Hopkins, I believe, that was doing the voiceover for that, that one. He's like, she's gonna die in 24 hours. That's it. And we're worried about your happiness. And then he's like, if you're worried about my happiness, then you know what you need to do. And they bring her back, and he has that one day, and I thought that was quite touching. But a lot of the other stuff, like, I don't know how to put this. I don't think I felt as bad as I was supposed to in the beginning of the movie. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I guess, you're wording it better than I did, but that's what I'm saying. The connection between audience and the parents with the robot was not there. And that's what I mean. The robot and David, David the robot and the mom wasn't there. And I personally believe is the actress. If they had a better actress to play the mom, it'll connect. I wasn't connect. Even when she dropped them off in the woods, I didn't even feel it. I was like, okay.
That's why I agree. I felt more bad when the little girl leaves Jessie in the box in Toy Story 2 than when this mom dropped this off in the woods. And that's an animated film that that scene doesn't even have dialogue. And I felt more. And I think it's because it could be the actress. Yes. I think it's the way that the character is written, because she gets this, all right, their son is sick. And they bring in David. She doesn't even she's like, what is this? This is weird. I don't want him. But then after a little bit, she's like, and he acts weird, by the way. He just like starts randomly laughing when she's eating spaghetti and all this kind of weird stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Then she does the little thing, says the words, hippopotamus, rhinoceros, whatever she says. Hippopotamus, rhinoceros. He's like, mommy, you're my mommy. And he gives her a hug. And I thought that scene was good, but everything else after that, I never felt a connection, because the whole point of the guy was like, we want to make a robot that can love. And I do feel like David did. But then that other girl makes a point of like, the humans can't love the robots like that. Like, it's not going to work, basically. And in that regard, it kind of comes out to be true, right? Because I never felt like the mom really, really loved David like a son. And the dad definitely didn't. And only one parent can imprint. Like, that's a weird thing as well. You have two parents. He still calls the dad by his first name. He doesn't call him dad. He doesn't have so that I didn't like.
I think they could both. I thought he used the word we. You do it first and then whatever.
Maybe
I thought
he never did. Maybe they
he
didn't.
never did. He never imprinted.
Because it was weird. He's just like, hey, Harold or whatever his name was. So
because I think at that same time the son came.
The Sunday came
we really quickly, like I want to say about like in movie time, I felt like a week, like we finally imprinted it, and then like a week or a month, the son was
like a long passage of time between when he comes back and when David becomes like a real boy, whatever. And so I think that all those things left me not feeling as bad for David as this movie wanted me to feel when it all goes down, right? It's one of those things like, I know I'm supposed to, but I just don't. And I think that's why the ending worked, because that's the only time where I did. I feel like the music, the acting from Haley Joel Osment, and even from the mom when she wakes up and they're having that day together, and I felt it more there, but it's the end of the movie at that point. Like, I got through all this other stuff. So I like it on a technical level. I agree with a lot of what you said, Alex. I did not connect with it emotionally the way I think that was intended. And I think that's a reason why a lot of people are kind of, I would say mixed, because 64 is most people give it a good review, but I do think it's a good movie. I don't think it's a bad movie, but the type of movie it is, I think you need to connect, and maybe some people do. I did not. And I think there's a lot of stuff that's undercooked. The Flesh Farm stuff, I feel like, is undercooked. Like, they're there, they like to destroy robots. I get it. But even the thing where the one guy that's like, we need to get the kid out of here. Like, there's a lot of philosophical things that they could have went into there and they did not.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gigolo Joe, I agree. I think he's underused. The whole thing, they almost make it set up like he's going to be on the run because he murdered this girl, and they could have, they did not really. He kind of was like kind of a fugitive, but I don't know. There's things that could have, but the movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes. So at that point, how much longer would this have to been to do everything? So for me, a mixed bag. I do think it's good. I like the way it looks. I just didn't connect with it the way I wanted to, or I think they wanted me to. So I don't know, Evan. I'm interested to see what you think about this one.
A lot of the stuff you just touched on, I'm going to touch on. I think one thing I'm going to add to the conversation is that when this movie came out, the conversation around computers, AI was a whole completely different discussion, right? We have Terminator, so we have all those movies, all that talk. We have Y2K, right? When did this movie come out? 2019. 2001. So we just had Y2K. So what do computers? So we have all these conversations, but the movie never touches on the current conversations because it's trying to live in the future. But the problem is it's definitely based off of that where what's funny is 2001 Space Odyssey or kind of says, hey, it takes you throughout kind of human history. So it allows you to see. So that movie, even though it's like the computers look so freaking old, you get to live in that world.
Right.
Where I feel like now we're in the future, we're like, oh no, I'm not having this conversation because it doesn't really put itself into a place and time of where artificial intelligent computers conversation was happening. And I also think going off of that, it's undercooked. I truly think we have like 4 stories, I feel like, that are going on. You have David, Pinocchio. You have mom, disease, trauma, and whatever. Like you could have done that like with the pet, like that typical story, kind of whatever. Then you have John Hurt who lost his kid, and can I remake him? Because we found that out that John Hurt's character, David, looks just like his son that he lost. So therefore, can you do this? And then you have like humans and how they react to AI robots. But none of those are ever the main topic of the stories. Maybe David and the fairy tale is what's carrying you through, but you have all these other tidbits that they're like touching on, but never develop. And I think that does a disservice because my biggest question I'm having is you have this robot, David, that's not going to age.
Right.
But you are, and kids age. And the whole point of having kids is you want to watch them grow up. And then you say, go out in the world. That is the sole purpose. It's not to keep them in still time stand. Like, I'm for as simple as research that I'm kind of doing is our access to photos of how we could see our kids constantly, like on our phone. I could look at my kid being 5 and how does that change our parenting styles? Because we have so much access where my parents, like, you had to pull out like the suitcase and it allowed you to grow faster than what maybe our generation does because we want to keep our kids younger. But we don't touch on that. We don't touch on what does this make us feel when this boy seems to be scared and emotion because during the flesh farm, they don't yell. They don't get scared of dying. What's happening? Like everything just gets touched on, but never expanded on. So the movie never allows you to live with an idea before moving on to a different idea.
Right.
Jude Law, this is at his height. I think Jude Law is amazing, and we often forget how great he is. I just watched the movie about him going after the KKK Klan movie. It came out a couple of years. Yeah.
The Order, I think it's called.
The Order, that's it. Yeah. I just watched that. He's just so
really
freaking good.
Oh yeah,
he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we don't talk about how great he is in this. And you saw his movements. Like I never not believed he wasn't a robot.
Yeah.
But we don't get to live with him long enough. Like, and how we say goodbye and him arrested, it just seems so weird and out of place. And it just doesn't land. I truly think this is a movie that should have just been shelved, saying this was going to be a Spielberg-Kubrick collaboration. And both of them, to my knowledge, they do allow rewrites in the movie to breathe on its own. And I think Spielberg might have held himself back from allowing him to make some changes because he wanted to honor his friend who passed away. And I think that holds the movie back more than, because it never feels like a fully Spielberg movie. And it doesn't feel like a Kubrick movie. Yeah. And it doesn't feel like so I feel like this movie doesn't get to breathe because Spielberg is going to go, because you know how it is. Like, you want to carry something on from your friend and you want to honor that. But you're like, in the moment, you're like going, this isn't working, but you can't change it because your friend's not there anymore. And you want to honor him. And I feel like that's probably what happened to this movie. Because if they were both on it, I think they would have talked more and you could have gone, this wasn't working. This is where we need to go. And stuff like that. Because the first half in that we live, what is that? That first part, 45 minutes with the family. We don't learn much.
Everything that happens there doesn't, it's supposed to lead to that scene being, I think, very more heartbreaking when she leaves him. But it doesn't work.
It's supposed to be the old Yeller scene. Like,
right.
You know,
don't come here, you know, stay in these woods. Yeah. And it's like, if I was him, I'd be like, okay, this little kid is treating me like dirt back home anyway, but he can't help it. You know, I get it. The imprint thing is, you know, he's a robot.
Yeah.
But still, I agree. It's like we spend a lot of time there for the payoff to not be worth it to me. Until the end, until the way end of the movie.
And then everything else just moves so fast paced.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? We have this long drawn out, and then boom, like, you're 10 minutes here, you're 10 minutes there, you're 10 minutes there.
Yeah.
I mean, even at the end, the last passage, the next longest part is with the mom. Mm-hmm. But everything else is like, okay, he's frozen. Now we got these, like, we didn't even a quick little overdub of what happened. Like, it's such a weird pacing. So it's okay. I wanted to like it again. Like, I rewatched it and I wanted to like it. And I'm surprised this doesn't have a 4K. And I'm wondering if the special effects have to do with it, because the DVD looked terrible. I'm going to say that. The DVD looked awful. And so that's why I went, okay, I need to watch this. The digital version's $10. It says it's in HD. And I didn't check the audio because I wasn't assuming. The DVD is 5.1. And then I bought it and I was like, why is this in stereo? And I'm like, oh, it's only. But the digital version didn't look much better, if that makes sense. It's not like Minority Report, because that DVD looked a little wonky too. But then the Blu-ray monitor looked better.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it's the special effects, as they would have to go back and retouch up some more stuff back in the day.
I mean, I watch it on Blu-ray. I know, Alex, you bought it too. You watched the Blu-ray.
I brought the Blu-ray.
It looks good. I think it looks good.
Yeah, it looks all right. I mean, there's certain scenes you could see that needs to get cleaned up. But other than that, yeah, I agree with Nate. I thought it was a fine Blu-ray. I mean,
it's a stylistic choice, too, the way it's filmed.
Yeah,
especially maybe the blown out whites when the helicopter's coming. I think that's on purpose.
It is on purpose. There's no way to change it.
That's on purpose. That's on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering then maybe if the stream that iTunes has is not technically the Blu-ray standard or whatever, because there's a couple out there that
it also depends too. As someone who works in the space of the like digital platforms that stream movies, it does depend on what the studio sometimes sends you a copy that's they don't even care. It's not that great. So I mean, this was DreamWorks and Paramount ended up doing the distribution. Warner Brothers,
and trust me, I get that because I bought X-Files digitally, and it was one episode that was standard definition, not the new HD. And I had to call iTunes. You do know this one's not HD. They go, there's nothing we can do about it right now until Fox sends us the right one.
They get from the studio.
Yeah. So I understand that. And that's why I'm not like saying that's not going to be part of my review. But I was just saying, I'm shocked that we don't have a 4K based on all the, like, how is this movie with AI right now? Shouldn't this be like a easy seller to be promoting at this moment, or
that's true
with all the conversation that's happening? But I thought the movie was okay. I do, when I came to our scoring, I'm wondering, can I go back and rescore another movie because it's too high compared, because this movie's better than that movie, but I don't want to give that movie that score. If that makes sense.
You can do whatever you want. It's your list. If you watch this and you're like, you know what? Actually, I think this other one should be lower, then that's up to you.
Okay,
you can change the scores. I mean, you did say it live, but other than that, you could change whatever you want. If you feel like an older one, it's better. You could.
Yeah.
My only problem with this movie that I had, and I don't know if you guys agree, I mean, it looks like we all on the same page with this movie, is we never got to see what happened when the wife went back home. Like, how did she explain to the husband, or what did the company say, what did you do with this robot that we sent you?
Well, they were looking for him. They were on a hunt. They said,
but I wanted to see the outcome, like her dumping him in the woods. Like I wanted to see what is the, I guess, what happened at home? Like, was the father
once
like,
she drops him off, you don't see her again until she's resurrected at the end.
Yes, it was like they all disappeared, and I'm like, and I agree with you, Evan, and I agree with you, Nate. That first 45 minutes is just a waste of film for me because I'm just like, I could care less. Like I was just like,
first 8 minutes where they're talking about the robots in that room.
Oh no, what? Yeah, when the scientists are, yeah.
From the house, you're right. From the house till she drops him off.
It's dumb.
It should have been good. That's the thing. Like it should have been, but it's something about it is. And you know what? I think Kubrick. To me. I don't know if you, Evan, I mean, Alex, I don't know how many Kubrick films you know of.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay. Besides The Shining, that's it.
Okay. He makes very cold movies.
Okay.
In that, like, they're not. I never feel like any sort of emotional things in his films. Right? Okay. They are what they are. They're well made. They're meticulous. They're very. But I don't.
They're supposed to get you thinking more. Yeah, they're going after.
He's not a feeling director, in my opinion. And Spielberg is a very feeling director.
Yeah,
it's very much. You're supposed to have some emotional response to it more than like, oh, this makes me think of XYZ. And I do feel like Kubrick would have. His version of this would have been different, but I think he would have worked better to direct this movie. I don't think it does not feel like a Spielberg movie, except the end.
I think they needed to be better producers together. Who cares at directing, right? At that point, like either one who wants to get the claim, it would have been a much better version if they were actually working together while making it, just not writing it. Because they both do rewrites so much on the set. True. Like we hear about that, The Shining, they came up with this idea right then and there. Let's shoot it.
Yeah, true. I just don't even think the material is a Spielberg material, to be honest with you.
No, I don't.
The only part that feels like a Spielberg movie is the end, where it's like 2,000 years in the future and it's all frozen and the robot alien things come. And that felt like a Spielberg movie to me. Everything else does not. And I just don't. And I know why he did it. Again, I respect him. You know, the family came to him and was like, look, do it. And he did. And that's all well and good. And again, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a bit of a misfire, though, for him. I don't think this was the material for him particularly.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's an interesting. It's an interesting film. And I think there's a lot to discuss about it. I just wish I liked it better. I don't hate it, but.
I don't either. I agree. Like, I wish I enjoyed it more, but the more I'm starting to see Steven Spielberg stuff, like we're doing this.
Yeah.
And granted, there's a lot of more movies down the line I didn't see, so I don't want people to go crazy on me.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the adventure versions of him, like him and the George Lucas collaboration stuff. You understand what I mean? Yeah, like the indie stuff. Like, I don't know. There's something I enjoy those type of movies. Now, his documentary style of war movies and stuff,
amazing,
is good too. It's great. But he's not a director that just sticks to like one genre. It looks like from what we're watching now is like my man's tapping into like every genre. Yeah, he's just a big. And I wish he did more sci-fi movies. Like, I mean, in his catalog, I wish it was more him dabbing into it. But.
Well, you're going to be excited for...
You're going to be a sci-fi movie.
And I'm afraid after watching AI, what are we going to watch?
No. You're going to get Minority Report is technically sci-fi. War of the Worlds is sci-fi. And you're going to get some adventure. Kingdom of Crystal Skull, Adventure of Tintin. You get more movies.
I've never seen that one.
We're also going to get two comedies with Catch Me If You Can in the Terminal. So he does everything. My man does. And a musical.
And The Terminal is a romantic comedy. Just want to put that out there. It's it's considered a rom-com.
I know you like
my Kate Leopold.
It's time to watch a rom-com with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like all I was saying was like, I agree with you. This is very a misfire. Totally.
Yeah, and without going too far ahead, like his next movie is Minority Report, and I love that movie. So I think it was just like a kind of a one-off misfire because his next movie is such a banger, and I can't wait till we talk about that one. But Yeah, I don't know. I want to go. What's your scores here, Alex? What did you give this movie?
That's easy.
Confused. I have no idea.
Super easy. I gave it a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
Bro, you got to remember, it's not the. I want people to understand, even if you caught up to this episode when we're doing it, a 3 out of 10 is not what I'm valuing the movie. It's in the rankings that I have it.
Right.
Like where do I put it?
This is below
between
ET
the other
on your scale.
This is very below ET, and it's below Always. I think Always to me is still, I enjoy that one more, which is very weird to say. But yes, I enjoy
Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss. But I think to me it's in the same vein as Amistad for me in my ranking. That one I gave a 3 out of 5, and I'm like, I can't give this one higher than that one, because that one was really good too.
Yeah.
So I was like, I couldn't do it.
A really good 3 out of 10 is such a crazy,
very crazy,
such a crazy
for
statement.
Amistad. I know.
Really
That's the only thing. Like, I have been on board with all your ratings and understanding. I've gotten to know you over the years, and it makes sense. But Amistad is the one I'm like going. Every time you say it, I'm going. I'm just shocked. Like, even if you gave it just a 5 out of 10, it will make more sense. But it's just,
hey, don't go in his mind.
I just have to
you don't
remember
know what
what
you're
you
gonna find either.
He's not gonna go in there.
All right, 3. Okay, I get it. Cool. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I think it's a good. But for me, guess what? It's in the rankings. It's probably similar to where yours is. My scores are just higher. But yeah, I give it a 6. I think there's slightly more good than bad. So that's why I went over a 5 for me. Because again, I do think on a technical level, it's fantastic. Score great, cast good. Just I didn't resonate with me the way I wish it did.
Was it better than Close Encounters for you?
Yeah, I like this better than Close Encounters. I don't like Close Encounters that much, and I gave this a higher score. And spoiler, it's higher in the rankings too. This is more interesting to me than Close Encounters was.
Okay.
So I don't know.
See, my Close Encounters is a 4 out of 10, and I'm like, I can't with the AI. I was like, I can't beat Close Encounters. I think Close Encounters to me was a better film than this one. That's just me. All right.
Yeah.
What you
Evan,
got?
what do
Evan?
you got?
So I'm going to say I had to lower my 1941 score from a 6 to a 5 to match. Yeah, I know. I went from Always to a 5 because I was with Alex in this, in the sense of Always is better than this film. I enjoyed it better than this film, but there's still some technically good that I wanted to match it with Always. But I enjoyed this better than 1941. So that's why I was like, oh, how is 1941 higher? So I'm making all those my 5. So that's where I'm like, those are my like ET.
I haven't changed a single score yet, thankfully. But I did.
I mean, I might change a score a little bit here and there. But I don't think right now.
The only thing that because we keep talking about Close Encounters, this viewing has ruined that movie. That I get very mad about him as a dad. Like, I still am living with that. And I'm like, oh, why did I do this?
He abandons his kids.
Yeah.
And sleeps with another woman.
I'm so afraid to rewatch it because I watched that movie quite a bit. I haven't watched it since.
Wait, so what did you give this movie?
I gave it a 5 out of 5. So it matches now 1941, Always, and AI is going to be like, these are decently good movies for their genre, but they missed the mark, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, out of 19, without saying anything else, because I'm saving it, I have this movie ahead of 5 other ones, so it's not even in the bottom like 3 for me at all. But
you know what?
1941, I gave a 3 out of 10. That's in 19th place. I can tell you right now.
You know what? I bumped my score up a little bit. I gave AI a 4 out of 5 because I agree with Evan. I tied it with a 4 out of 10. I tied it with Always. I think it's there. I don't think it's the same vein. And Amistad, I'm gonna just for Evan, I'm gonna so he doesn't hate me for life. I'm gonna put that one just for him and everybody for sanity. I'm gonna put that at 5. I'm gonna even it with E.T. because you're right. It is a way better movie, strong message, and everything was acted very well. So I'm gonna put a 5 out of 5 just for you guys.
And I want to reiterate, Alex, this is where it's in the ranking. We're scoring Spielberg films, right? And that's kind of like criteria for there. it's not just the pure enjoyment, because I can't wait for our rankings. Because, like I said, some of these movies that got a low score are going to probably be placed higher in my rankings than just the score alone.
No, I agree. I think Amistad and E.T. for me are even. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Because Amistad is a way better movie than Always, and it shouldn't be on the lower than that movie. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. What we got, Nate?
All right. So that is, artificial intelligence. It's a silly name. They should just call it AI or just call it artificial intelligence. Either way, next movie coming up, the 20th. We are into the 20s. We're sticking in the early 2000s. Spielberg got busy in these first few years in the 2000s because this in 2001, and they had 2 movies in 2002. So we're doing the first 2002 movie, which is, of course, Minority Report, a movie that I thoroughly enjoy, and I'm looking forward to rewatching it. And actually, after watching this, I'm interested in watching them like kind of back to back because again, they look really similar to me, and I know they have the same cinematographer and everything, but I'm interested that that movie will be next. And as always, if you are not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channels and hitting the bell icon so you get notified when new videos drop. Every week we have 4K upgrade videos. Should you upgrade videos, we have these every Friday. And we have live streams every 2 weeks. So please consider subscribing, hit the thumbs up down below, and leave us a comment as well if you're enjoying this series. If you like this movie, let us know. We're interested in your thoughts as well. Anyway, with all that said, until next time, be awesome to each other. Geek out.